We talk with Christian Averill and Lou Hong from BitTorrent Inc., the company behind BitTorrent Sync and uTorrent. We'll ask how direct file syncing. We'll ask about direct file syncing, and managing your reputation when your name is shorthand for piracy in the broader culture. Also, the Army leaked chat logs between Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning. Don't they respect their right to secrecy? And we'll let you know the easy-to-remember nuclear launch code from past decades, just in case you're traveling time this weekend. My name's Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. With me today from the UK, as always, is Mr. James Bruce. How's it going, James?
It's going fantastic because I have a 3D printer sitting in my living room.
Yeah? Did you make anything?
No, not yet. I haven't even taken the box off. I've got to...
It's just there. You just got it.
I've been so busy, but it's in the living room. I really want to play with it.
What do you? We'll talk about that a little later for sure. That sounds amazing. Also with me from Connecticut is someone who doesn't have a 3D printer sitting in his living room, but probably has a whole bunch of NES games he'll never play. Mr. Dave LeClaire, how's it going, Dave?
It's going all right. I have a racing wheel for the Xbox One sitting next to me, and it was DOA. So
DOA.
Yeah, dead on arrival. Pulled it out the box.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
So that sucks.
Yeah. Well.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, probably. Did you buy it, or are they sending it to you for a review? Because if they're sending it to you for a review, that's kind of...
No, we bought it for review.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
They didn't just send it to you. Oh, no, that's terrible.
The first impressions are not positive.
Oh, my God. Well, then, moving right along, I thought I'd talk about BitTorrent Sync, which is growing quickly. It's jumped from 1 million to 2 million users in just a month, according to the BitTorrent team. The service allows anyone to sync folders between as many computers as they like directly. Unlike Dropbox, SkyDrive, and the rest of the crowded sync field, this sync is different. There's no cloud component. This means both computers need to be online at once for the sync to happen, but it also means you don't have to trust a third party with your data. With us today also is Christian Averill and Lou Hong from BitTorrent Inc., the company behind BitTorrent Sync as well as uTorrent. Lou, Christian, thanks for joining us. How's it going, Lou?
Thanks for having us.
It's really great having you here, Christian. Hi.
How's everybody doing? Great to be here.
Oh, fantastic. So, what do you have the sense people are using BitTorrent Sync for? What are they using it to sync? Music?
Even better, do you have data?
What? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, what aren't they using it for?
Yeah.
So I can go on and on about this. We have so one thing that you can take a look at is we actually have a weekly series of blog posts called Syncax, where we kind of highlight the ways various users are using Sync. So I'll tell you that a lot of people are. What we're finding through just talking with our users is that we have a big segment of users who are using it at home. You know, you have 3 computers at home, and you want to network them, and you want to get all your music files on one to another. You know, at work you want to listen to it. You know,
I've literally got that set up myself.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's common. And podcasts, because I don't want to download my podcasts multiple times, because I know these public radio companies, for example, don't have a lot of bandwidth space, so I download it once onto here and then it syncs everywhere else.
Absolutely. We have one of our users who has another podcast, and he actually distributes it using Sync.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We released an API about Christian, was it a month ago? Time flies.
Right. November 5th is the API release.
Yeah, we released it about a month ago. We already have a bunch of different, developer uses for it. We have one guy who's trying to create a social network on top of Sync. We have another guy who's creating.
So a social network where everything's hosted on your own computer?
Yes.
That's wow.
I'll let that sink in.
Yeah, that does.
It's. I mean, it's just remarkable how many creative ways people are using this. We have. I think a couple video startups are using it. We have, I just got an awesome email from a user last night. She was talking about it on Twitter. She's a video editing and producer.
Okay.
And she synced 13 gigs of video files over 4 computers in less than an hour.
Yeah, that's insane. I was stunned with how fast my music went from my laptop. And even if I were to have done a direct, like with the Windows file system, network thing. I forget what it's called.
Not the
Samba.
same.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that fast. So there's something about it that's working. So how similar is BitTorrent Sync to the BitTorrent protocol we're all familiar with?
Sure. Well, it's built on top of it's built leveraging the BitTorrent protocol, right? So what you know about the BitTorrent protocol still applies in terms of the distributed nature and how the data is being transferred.
Okay.
What we've done on top of that is limit, from a security perspective, how data goes from at least one point to another point.
Okay.
So we've added a security layer on top of that, so that
so it's encrypted, or
it's definitely encrypted, and a lot of what people have a tendency to kind of misunderstand about sync is that they think that if you're using sync, it's going out, out everywhere, and it's really not. It goes from point A to point B, and when those two nodes are connected, if there is another point, it leverages the third point to actually speed up the process, and that's why it's much faster than using a Windows file server.
Yeah, because if there's multiple computers syncing the same thing, it's obviously going to go faster from computer to computer. So if you've got three hooked up, it's a lot faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it is built on top of the BitTorrent protocol.
But people who want to use it, it's a little more complicated than, say, Dropbox. You can't just say, share this folder. You've got to copy a pretty long code, which someone else then has to enter in on their end.
Exactly.
Why was that decided on this as the way to do this?
So I'll answer it to you in a couple different ways, maybe. So that was one way because we wanted to ensure the secure nature of the product, right?
Okay.
That hash, that secret is a 20-character secret, and it is virtually impossible to crack.
And there's no web site that this service is connected to. Like when you share something on Dropbox, you're taken to the Dropbox web client. Yeah. This is just a code.
Exactly.
It's a secret, you call it, yeah.
Yeah, we call it a secret. And the other thing I'll say is that the product is still evolving. Literally, it's 9 months old. Yeah. So I mean, you think about it, it's like it's
9 months old. I don't know how I would use my computer without it still. So like it's really gotten into people's lives.
I'll tell you, it's amazing, man. It's we have the crazy thing is we have so much opportunity in front of us, and we have so many things we want to do to this thing. It's a matter of what do we want to work on first right now. So the secrets, we're trying to find a better way to kind of figure out how will that evolve. We definitely want to make the product a lot more user friendly.
Yep.
And so right now we have been kind of going through an exercise of getting feedback from users, trying to understand more specifically how are they using it, so that we can kind of cater the product to, to a more customized solution. But yeah, it's just been an amazing product, and the secret it's been created just for all intents and purposes. It's security.
So monetization.
Yes.
Are you doing it? Will you be doing it? Do people have something to worry about? What's going on?
We are not doing it right now.
Okay.
People do not have anything to worry about.
Okay.
We do want to monetize, but we want to do this. We don't want to rush into anything.
Because I've had numerous sync services I've used over the years that did this direct computer to computer, and they worked great. And then all of a sudden they said, "Hey, glad you like the service. Now you got to pay $10 a month." Is it going to be something like that?
No.
If I can weigh in for a moment, Lou. So the basic tool, as it's available right now, the intention is for that to always be free of charge.
Okay.
So
it's not open source, but it is free as in beer.
Yes, well, free nonetheless. I don't know if you want free beer. This is something that you do want, that you have to pay for it as a very basic tool. And as you note, it's pretty basic, and it's built by engineers, and the initial thing is to make it durable and make sure it works great, and that's why it sort of is the way it is, and there's some refinement to come. And some of those refinements, and Lou can get into this perhaps a little bit, or it might be too early for us, to be honest. But it's going to depend on what we're learning. Lou mentioned that we're getting a lot of feedback from all types of users, right? So some of them are small businesses. Some of them...
Would the API be more the monetization route then?
Yeah, I mean, it's too early to say. It's possible. Okay. I mean, Lou, if you have anything that you're in a position to share, I mean, you can weigh in on that. But I think the basic idea is that we're going to discover different builds on the tool that, you know, maybe it's certain controls that the users need, or a certain scalability, or whatever it may be, or maybe the API is going to lead us to a place where it does make sense to take a percentage of something if they're making money off of it, and that sort of thing. So the short answer is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The implications for corporate settings could be pretty profound too, if you can beat any other competitors to the space, right?
Absolutely, and there are a lot of those conversations taking place right now. You know, we hope to be talking about this more toward you know, throughout the next year in any case. But yeah, those conversations and those explorations and the dev team are working toward building those types of things right now. So for now, the thing we want everybody to know is that this basic tool will always be available. I mean, even if BitTorrent Inc. were to shut down, I believe that tool will still be available for people to use.
Because it doesn't require a centralized server the way Dropbox does. It just would keep working.
Got it. Yeah. And that's just the basic core philosophy of the company, right? To build things that are durable, that are decentralized, that you know, that work well, and then yeah, of course, I mean, you know, typical Silicon Valley. You know, we want to get it out there, iterate, build it, and we're going to figure out the business models as we move along here. So, Lou, I hand it back to you. I don't know if that answers the question. There might be some more to add.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right, and I think I don't think any consumer or current user has anything to worry about, because, like Christian said, once you have it, once you use it, it's yours. It's just part of our philosophy of decentralized, you know, computing and making the internet better.
Got it.
So
go ahead, James.
Can I ask a question? Sorry. Are there any streaming applications built on top of the BitTorrent API yet? Because
could we stop using Google?
No, the thing for me is that I have a NAS which I've loaded with like 4 terabyte hard drives.
Yeah.
And I don't want to duplicate that information on every computer. But if I could link it up with another household or something, and then improve streaming speeds of grabbing something from the file server, that's what limits it for me personally.
Yeah, you know, honestly, as of the last time I've been doing my my daily check-ins, I have not heard of anybody using the API for any type of improved streaming yet. So it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, you know, without being too forward-looking, it's almost inevitable. That you can almost recreate the entire web based on the Sync API, you know, in theory, as a sort of decentralized approach that doesn't rely on servers, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, in theory, it's possible, and for sure, that's a lot of the work that we're doing with the developer community. We want the developer community to think about these things and go after and attack it, and you know, it may come out of our own natural dev teams as well. We do these things every other month that we call paloozas, which are basically company-wide hackathons. That's where the Sync idea actually came from, and it's like the point being that good ideas can surface from anywhere. And sometimes these are new products that, you know, we bring to our labs page, labs.bittorrent.com, and you know, that happened with Sync, and suddenly the community reacted and said, we got something, let's go with it. Other times it's an add-on to a product like that. So, you know, Lou, there's a Palooza coming up next week, I think. That might be something to use for your bit starter, or suggest it to one of the engineers. So if it doesn't come from us, it's definitely going to come from the dev community. And you know, if there's traction for it, and if we can help them build that, or help them with some support, you know, that's our philosophy too. You know, we want to make sure that people are using the API, and we're giving them guidance and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very active community, and I think it's almost inevitable that something like that will come along.
Awesome. Cool. So I not to change subject completely here, but my wife Kathy, who's in the other room, say hi, Kathy.
Hi.
She does a lot of online surveys from media companies. It's like a hobby she has. She's a physicist, but she really likes taking surveys, and she does some for media companies, and a lot of them refer to BitTorrent as an online provider of free content. Now, that's so wrong, it's kind of funny. So just to kind of be clear, what is BitTorrent Inc., and is it an online provider of free content?
Yeah. So Lou, I'll start this one. Just it's a little bit more broader. That's hysterical. I mean, BitTorrent. First of all, BitTorrent's it's a protocol. It's not a place, right?
Yeah.
We're not a website. We do have a website.
Yeah.
Everybody has a website. But BitTorrent is it's a protocol. It's a way for machines to talk to one another. BitTorrent was created by our founder, Bram Cohen, in 2001. He's still with us. He's our chief scientist, and he works on a lot of different projects day to day. He's one of the greatest minds in internet engineering in all of history, and he's recognized as such. But what he created it for was to replace HTTP, right? So that's everybody sort of is familiar with HTTP out there in the general public. That's a protocol that helps you move text and small images. But Bram saw that the way the internet was going was that was not going to be sustainable for the amount of data and the size of things that were coming along. So that's what BitTorrent was created to do, and that's what it does best. It moves large data sets very big.
Yeah, it's decentralized. And I was wondering about this.
Go ahead.
Because we have a lot of manuals we offer at makeuseof.com that are free of charge, but we add new ones regularly. It would be nice to add a download all button to our site, but it would be a huge pain in terms of bandwidth costs to do that, and especially because people would only maybe end up reading half of them, if even that. So we haven't done it yet, but we could use BitTorrent Sync for something like that. Do you think? Would that work?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No question.
Would we need to do anything extra with it, or just...
Wait, you can't put BitTorrent Sync onto a web server yet, though, can you? I mean, one of us would have to host the files.
Yes.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it would have to be on an always-on server or computer.
Yeah.
Computer.
And there's like a Linux version that we could install on a server.
Yeah, there's. I think we have about 3 different Linux builds.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
And then every time we add a new manual, it would just propagate to everyone just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who's syncing that folder would be able to get it.
Cool. We just kind of thought of that.
You definitely should look into using Sync for that, and there's a few different ideas that, coming from the API that might actually help solve for that, making it available through the web. There's an additional product we have, not to steer things too far away, but...
Oh, no, don't worry.
Justin, you may be familiar with the BitTorrent bundle, which is a project that we've been working on a separate track, and this has sort of been the first major evolution of the idea of a torrent file. If you guys think of a torrent file as just a giant container that has no restrictions on file type or file size, what we've done over the past 2 years is to experiment with content creators and rights holders, musicians, filmmakers, authors, etc. And the BitTorrent bundle puts a gate inside the torrent file. So in front of that gate could be promotional material. In your case, you're giving these things away gratis, but the point is the gate right now it's currently an email gate, right? So you can do email collection on that. And then behind the gate is premium content, right? So from there it can get, use your imagination as to what can be in front of it and behind it. But that might be another short-term solution until we can get Sync to a place where it is viable without having to have the always-on thing. You can create a bundle. We can invite you into that alpha now. You can publish this yourself.
Okay.
And you can put whatever you want into that bundle and then make that freely available through your website for anybody to download. And
are media companies usually hesitant to work with you because of the word BitTorrent? Is it like terrifying to them?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a certain old mindset that views the internet as a bad thing, and they want to take it all down. And most people that we talk to have a more evolved point of view, much the way that MP3 once upon a time represented, a huge threat to the content industry, and then after 6 or 7 years, they figured out how to monetize it, and then made lots and lots of money from it. That's kind of the point where the studios and the labels are right now, and definitely all the independent, artists out there, and independent labels and independent filmmakers are we've got a list of something like 6,000 or 7,000 content creators trying to get into this closed alpha right now. So we can go on and on about how that point of view has evolved, but it has evolved, and so the short answer is no. I mean, the same is true for Sync. To bring it back to Sync, we're not in a position to share all the different enterprise folk that we're talking to. It's just very early stages, and with respect to privacy, it's up to them to share who we're talking to, not us, until there's something a little bit more of a partnership in place. But some of the biggest organizations on the planet are knocking on our door to help to try the tool and to work with us on it. So yeah, it does make for a good headline out there. And then as you pointed out, most of those headlines are misusing the word BitTorrent, and it's a misunderstanding, and it's something that we're working really hard to correct.
You guys got in touch with me because I wrote an article in which I explained that saying downloading something from BitTorrent is kind of like saying I dug something from Shovel. You used.
You're absolutely right. I mean,
you used a shovel to dig. You didn't get the dirt from the shovel, right? And that's kind of the difference, so far as I can tell.
That's why we love you, Justin. You nailed it in one.
Well, you don't have to love me. I just, but there was a lot of pushback even when I said that. Like the comments were just like, "Why are you being so caught up on the grammar of this? BitTorrent is a thing I download things from." They want to define the term the way they like it. They like it that way. Are you making efforts to try to define the term by your own means? Yeah,
for sure. Part of the problem is that we're such a deep layer of the internet that it is hard for people to understand what a protocol is. We'll talk to reporters and say, well, we're an internet protocol, and the output will be a pirate website. It's like, no, that's we don't host any content except for legal stuff that we work with on folks and on and on. So it takes some time, and I think there was a long period of time where we weren't.
But you're also not completely separate from piracy, though, because you do put out the most popular BitTorrent client that is overwhelmingly being used to pirate things, so far as I know, and you've got ads on it, so you're monetizing.
And in fairness, it does have a search feature too.
Well, that's not true. What's happening is that the ad network that's being put up there is being put up against these bundles, right? So there's over 2 million pieces of licensed and legal content now available that we've put into the ecosystem. And that's what we're doing. And all those ads are usually cross-promoting some of our products, but it's also trying to point people back toward good content.
All the ads on uTorrent are there's no paid ads there?
I'm saying a good majority of them are cross-promoting it and bringing people back into a path of good content, right? So where the idea that we're in association with any piracy website is completely untrue. I mean, obviously
you are, at some level, leveraging, if not monetizing, pirated content, aren't you? With the ads in the uTorrent? No?
You will never be able to find on our clients, on our websites, anything at all. You can't search for pirated content. You've got to go somewhere else for that. That stuff happens in search engines that are outside of our walls, and we've been very strict about that. We don't want to have that sort of that problem on our hands. We've never been the target of any legal action because of it, and it's always been our intention to stay very, very clear of that gray area. So it's not the case. It's the perception, but it's not the case. If you end up on the BitTorrent client right now, it's literally impossible to find pirated content. You will not get that way.
You have to get them from somewhere else.
True on uTorrent too?
You're going to find it somewhere else. You're going to find it somewhere else, and you're going to pull it through. And you're also going to use Google, and you'll probably use iTunes.
So you don't block pirated content from downloading in uTorrent, but you also don't link to it directly from the interface.
Yeah, and there's a very clear point about that, right? So with respect to privacy, this applies throughout all of our products and our company philosophy. We aren't monitoring our users the way that other companies are, right? Because it's
a decentralized network, and if you were to monitor them, they'd go to a different.
That's right.
Client anyways.
It's also all the things that we're talking about in terms of even how sync is being used, etc. That's all anonymized. We don't know. It's all anonymous statistics that are being pinged back to us very, very specifically. And since mid 2013. I think the whole world suddenly understands why it's important not to warehouse all that data, because there's a lot, unfortunately, the NSA, they're breaking the law, and they're going out and they're mining this data on servers, and they're warehousing it and holding it on for.
And you guys don't create any data for them to mine. You're saying
our point of view is that the internet should not work that way. There certainly is some great services out there, and they do great things. But for that very reason, we feel, and the original internet was meant to be built like that, decentralized, not stacks, not walled gardens, and all that sort of thing. And you'll see that play out for every single thing we do. Again, even with the bundles, the idea with this gate inside the bundle is that we're not creating another content store, right? We're not recreating Walmart online, which is happening with other places. We put the story in the content. So this is the way the internet's supposed to work, and it moves with the granny of the internet. All that data, any statistics that come off of that, outside of anonymous numbers that we see in people, like say, downloading it from the good content we're putting in, that all goes back to the content creator. So it's up to them, right? We don't want to impose a business model on our partners and people who are using these tools. We want to be the tool. We want to be the pipes, the things that make the internet work better, and that all belongs back to them, right? So it all plays back.
No, BitTorrent as a protocol is open source at some level, isn't it? Like you don't own the protocol. Yeah.
No, it was created as an open protocol, and it's out there and used as an open protocol by good actors and unfortunately bad actors.
I don't want to sound pessimistic here, but I'm going to because I'm British. You're an American company.
The World Cup is still months away. You're fine. Don't get pessimistic.
You can be pessimistic in a few months.
You're an American company, so even if the
you're
NSA...
pessimistic. Did you see the World Cup pool that we got? We have Portugal, we've got Ghana, and we've got Germany. We're pessimistic here, okay?
The U.S. is screwed, yeah.
I don't follow football anyway, but you're an American company, so even if the NSA had asked you to build in a backdoor encryption key to BT Sync or whatever, I mean, you wouldn't be able to even tell us about it, right?
It hasn't happened, so I can tell you that, right?
But you'd have to say that. What?
It's a fair point. What backdoor would they put in, though, right? I mean, the way it's set up is that if they want to get that information from a user from ours, they need to go to you. They need to go to that user with that subpoena and say, we want to get the information from your sync usage or something like that. It's literally, there's nothing for them to capture on our end, right?
I mean, you could put something into uTorrent that monitors people. It's closed source.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure that it's in theory maybe. I'm not sure in practice that would work. Definitely, I need to bring in one of our engineers to answer that completely.
Sorry, and I don't want to. Go ahead.
I don't think it's. Even let's say hypothetically that was to happen. I don't even think we could because none of the data actually comes through our servers. I mean, we don't get any of the data. So I mean, we could.
You wouldn't want that data. It would plug up your tubes.
I mean,
it'd be a lot. Yeah.
Anything we give them would be unreadable. I mean, it would be. It's nothing really because we don't see any of it. I mean, we literally don't see it. So.
And it's not like if the NSA wants to spy on your BitTorrent activity, they need to ask you for help. It's all pretty easy to get.
That's transparent as well. That's right. That's public. Third party.
So we have just to bring it back a little bit. We have a set of users who are using it within their own LAN. So
you're talking about BitTorrent Sync now within your own LAN.
Yeah. And it's not even connected to the internet, so they're just using it within their own ecosystem.
Sure.
It's not connected outside.
And that's how it works if it's just in the LAN, it doesn't even go to the internet at all. There's no outside connection. So if my router is not plugged into my modem, BitTorrent Sync will still work across the network?
I think you have to do some tweaking on it. I think you guys are way more smarter than I am. They're they're a lot tech savvier than I am, but I think they set up like a Linux box and basically just have it set up to like 10 different nodes.
Okay.
Totally doable.
Well, guys, thanks for taking the time to answer questions. Do you have anything else, James? I know I kind of... you have anything else, James?
No.
Hey, James, one thing I wanted to tell you was just to talk back about your idea about streaming. We had as Christian was saying, we had Palooza a couple of months ago, and we had one guy who actually created a blog system using Sync.
Whoa!
So
how does that work?
If you create a blog system on Sync, I don't see why you can't do streaming. So just to throw that out there.
Sounds cool.
Well,
is that up on your Hacks weblog thing?
What's that?
Blog? Is that listed on your blog for the?
It's every Tuesday on our blog.
Yeah, if you go to blog.bittorrent.com, and then you can, in the search window, just put Sync Hacks, and you'll get all the different Sync Hacks stories up that way. I think it is in there, Lou, right? Did we talk about the...
we did talk about the blog one, because that was an internal one.
Okay.
But, I don't think we got around to talking to... I forgot which dev did it, but, I mean, it was a pretty cool thing. He just wrote a text file, then boom, just wrote a daily text file, so...
Wow.
His own
and then
blog.
we just sync to the. That's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about media before, and I thought I'd just move one news item we were going to talk about later up to here. Streaming services are struggling to survive financially. Spotify has millions of paid users, and they don't make enough money to be profitable. They've never turned a profit. And Pandora right now is asking artists if they can pay them less just so Pandora can stay up. Again, tons of paid users. What's costing it? Is it the licensing or is it the bandwidth? And if it's the bandwidth, could BitTorrent possibly enter that space by offering some kind of paid streaming service that also uses your bandwidth? Would that be possible? Would people react negatively to what I'm just wondering if you've thought about this.
Yeah, we talk about these things all the time, and Spotify does a wonderful job of it. They actually started off as a peer-to-peer service. I think in some ways they still leverage a BitTorrent type technology in the back end. I'm not sure if that's still true. But the founder came out of a BitTorrent client producer. I think he worked on the uTorrent client, in fact, in the early days. We'd have to check that, but I'm almost certain that that's still true. But yeah, we look at these things all the time. We, in fact, have a protocol called BitTorrent Live. It's a rebuild of the BitTorrent protocol, so entirely from scratch that Bram Cohen, the founder, created to solve for live streaming, right? So it's video. And that's been built, and I think over the next year you'll start hearing us talk a little bit more about how that can be applied. So there's certainly within the realm of possibility. It's not currently our focus, but there's no question. I mean, especially when you look at some of the bandwidth reports that are out there, and they talk about how video streaming. I'm onto video, not just the music stuff, I guess, but that applies to a degree. And that's taking up more and more bandwidth within the pipes, and certainly that's not sustainable. So. There's probably a few best practices that should be put into place, one of which can be a BitTorrent type solution, and definitely we want to talk to all those guys about it. Another thing that we do voluntarily, we implemented a protocol called the Micro Transport Protocol, or UTP, about 5 years ago, and this helps play traffic cop during peak hours, right, so that certain BitTorrent traffic will yield to certain applications and stuff like that. And so that's something else that a lot of other companies and services should be thinking about. How do we make it all sustainable? But I think for Spotify, they're focused on the right things, and they get a lot of negative backlash, and I think unfairly so, right? I mean, if you wanted to open up a radio station or a record store years ago, I don't know that you would have had the headaches and the problems that they shoulder, and I think you're going to find their way forward. I don't have all the answers for them, but certainly we're willing to talk with them about it, and there's probably some conversations happening somewhere with similar services.
Spotify, get in touch. This week's episode is brought to you by Bitdefender, antivirus for Mac. Think Macs don't catch viruses? Think again. Although Macs are traditionally believed to be less prone to cybercriminal attacks, recent developments have shown that malware writers are concentrating more and more on finding vulnerabilities in Mac OS and popular Mac applications. Stay safe with Bitdefender antivirus for Mac. Thanks. So, guys, we're going to move on to the rest of the news for the show here. Again, you can hang out if you want, or you can head out if you want. Whatever.
You're in charge of your own destiny.
Yeah,
I got 9 minutes of my battery, so I'll hang out until
until the battery dies.
We'll linger
Nice,
a bit.
Lou.
We'll linger a bit.
Okay, cool. Well, Microsoft is announcing radical new features for Windows 8.2. James, what revolutionary ideas are they bringing to the next incarnation of their operating system?
So this first one they're calling a start menu. Instead of having to navigate to Metro, you can now find your apps in this list, a convenient list with an icon
within the desktop mode.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's
such an innovative new idea.
This is going to change the game.
And get this right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to detach Metro apps onto the desktop in what some tech pundits are calling an app window.
Really? So like
How
the app
mad
is in
that?
its own window.
Yeah.
And you can then like overlay them however you like over top of each other.
Yeah, instead of being one app full screen. It's crazy, right?
A window.
This is a game changer, guys. I'm
That's kind of a catchy word. Window.
They should name it after it.
Yeah, maybe. That would be pretty cool. Huh.
Something like Windows 8.2.
Holy crap, so are Metro apps going to stop being just like one dark color with one light color, and just kind of have like maybe widgets on top that can do different things, and maybe a file menu, and you know, that would really add some more versatility to this whole thing. Yeah,
Windows 7.
It's amazing. What?
Hey, I think Christian's trying to talk, but he's muted himself for some reason.
Oh, sorry, Christian.
No? Okay, never mind.
No, sorry, you're good. You're good.
That's incredible. Wow, they're really just totally backpedaling here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Can we just go on to Windows 9 already? Come on. What are we doing? Seriously?
I know, they haven't done a .1. I accidentally said Windows 3.1 out loud when I was putting the outline together, and I'm like, that's kind of hilarious. They haven't done like this .1 nonsense since like 1991, so it's kind of, yeah. They're a really forward-looking company, BitTorrent people. You could really look to them as an example of how to prepare for the future. You know what, though? They actually are doing something kind of cool. They've built support for 3D printers into Windows 8.1. That's there. There's even an app you can get to like design things. So, James, you've got the 3D printer in the back there. I guess you're going to have to get Windows 8.1 set up.
I don't want to reinstall Windows 8, thanks. I already went to Windows 7.
Oh, really? You've gone down?
Yeah, there was no point in keeping 8. It was just an annoyance. Like, there was no benefit for it.
What about those Metro apps, though?
Yeah, you're going to miss those Metro apps. But in a way, you're kind of seeing the future of the Windows desktop by using Windows 7. You're like getting a preview there. What kind of software do you need for a 3D printer usually?
Well,
you need drivers, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it depends. You need something to transform a 3D file into a printable object, right? The one I've got sitting in my living room, it's a consumer unit.
To design a 3D file, I guess you could get some kind of.
So the one I've got right now, it's called the Cube, and it comes with like a specialized designer that's supposed to be really easy to use. Like you can make like a symmetrical thing really easily, rotating it around. It's supposed to be really easy to use, so we'll see. It sounds kind of like what they're building, to be honest.
Kashi points out in the chat room they should just call it Windows 1. Bring it in line with the Xbox, yeah, that would be good.
So, James, what's the first thing you're going to print, though?
Oh, I can't say that on air.
It's going to be a dog.
What?
I'm going to build a coat hook.
You're making
a
coat hook?
A coat hook. A glow-in-the-dark coat hook, because that's the color of filament.
You have glow-in-the-dark material for your
Yes,
already? Oh,
glow-in-the-dark, black, and pink. I thought those were the best colors to test with.
Nice. How big is this thing?
The box is like it's huge.
Okay. So like you could make pretty big things with it. That sounds pretty cool. But you're gonna need Windows 8. I'm telling you. Do you know how to type, James?
I can touch type. I don't really look at the keyboard.
Do you know how to type, Christian?
And he's muted.
No, I learned how to type in junior high school. Hell yeah.
Okay. So a recent study shows that if you know how to touch type, if someone just shows you a picture of the keyboard, you won't be able to identify which key's where.
I can fill in the top row because it's like QWERTY UI off.
QWERTY,
right?
yeah, QWERTY. People know QWERTY.
I can
but
find
everything underneath
WASD.
ASDF, yeah, but most people don't know where most of the letters they type regularly are. They can't picture it.
WASD we can do. But
and it's the difference researchers are saying between a learned skill and a memorized skill. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty fascinating. So next time you type, think about it. Where are the letters you're typing? Could be kind of interesting. Yeah. Facebook is adding related reads to your already bullshit status stream. Nice outline writing here, James. And they're so. What is a related read?
Okay, so if someone posts a link from like New York Times, then underneath that large thumbnail, you're going to find 3 or 4 little thumbnails of related stories, possibly from the New York Times, but it says also possibly from a completely different website.
And
which
also
is somehow
possibly
related.
from someone who paid us, possibly, maybe a little bit, possibly.
Monetization.
Monetization, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's brutal.
Like they're trying to be an RSS reader or something, which is clearly dumb. I don't need
Well, I think the incentive here is pretty obvious, isn't it? Yeah. So that's not actually going to be useful. But, half the internet is people rewriting other people's articles, so I guess it could be good if someone links to the Huffington Post, it automatically, links to the actual news article that the Huffington Post copied it from. See, this could be used for good, is what I'm saying, but it probably won't. It'll probably link mostly to BuzzFeed.
Yep. And in other news, they're also considering adding a sympathize button, which would only appear for posts where users have tagged their status updates with certain emotions, or I presume put a sad face.
That makes sense because
it has been awkward to date, right? You want to show some sympathy, and it's tough. You can't hit like.
Yeah, my kitten died. I'm so sad. Christian likes this. Yeah, that's not a good idea. No, that makes sense. That's been a problem for them for a while. That's kind of an obvious thing. Yeah.
We could just all agree to only use the sympathize button as a dislike button, though, right? That would be the unwritten rule.
Wait, so there still will be a like button, or they will just... Well, what's the symbol for the sympathize button? Is it like a little frowny face?
Yeah, it's probably just a sad face, I guess.
Okay.
Or like a hug.
What about the dislike button that everybody's been asking for since,
They're never, ever going to add a dislike button.
So just add a hug button. That would be more generic.
If you added a dislike button, though, that would, apply as also the sympathy button. If Justin posted something sad, I could say, dislike, because...
Well, no, because that's different, because I post my cat died. I really liked my cat. I'm going to miss him. And then Dave says dislike.
Well,
so now you dislike that I liked my cat?
Do I dislike the fact that you miss your cat, or do I dislike the fact that it's dead? You'll never know.
I think that's what I'm saying. A whole variety of buttons, like hug, poke, dislike, smack, that kind of thing.
There was some bullshit plugin that did that, wasn't there? It was terrible.
Oh. Well, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, okay. Facebook replaces friends with companies, the chat room says. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could more or less do that.
Do that already, don't they?
Still like our idea from a couple weeks ago where they make it so that the robots post stuff and then other robots go and read it, and then we can all just move on with our lives and do something else. The Army has released the chat logs between Manning and Julian Assange because they apparently don't respect Manning and Assange's rights to secrecy, which I think is ridiculous and in far overreach of their power. But there's a couple interesting things in here. It's just chat conversations between Manning and Assange from back in the day. One of the more interesting things is them talking crap about the Tea Party. Assange is like, the Tea Party thing, it's weird, but we should be taken seriously. To which Manning replies, it's one of those gray areas between reality and entertainment. It's the right-wing overclass, brackets Fox, organization of the right-wing underclass. Think of them as brown shirts, really big fans of something, basically. So, yeah, you can just kind of see the internal thought process of Julian Assange in these leaks.
Lou's battery appears to have died, by the way.
Oh, bye, Lou.
Yeah.
Did they not have power cables over at BitTorrent Inc.? Is that what I'm seeing?
What's that? What happened?
Lou's batteries died. Do you guys not have power outlets in your building?
I think Lou went to a safe place where he didn't have any secret plans sitting behind him by his desk. So.
Oh, because there's just secret plans written on every wall in your building.
All the master plans for what's coming next on Sync is.
Oh, okay.
Surrounds his desk, so yeah, you probably just went to a safe place where there's no coworkers.
Where there's no plans on the wall.
Yeah, and unfortunately ran out of power. That's the next big thing we need to work on, right? Is batteries that last more than a few hours.
BitTorrent Sync to power your laptop.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Power sharing? I could do that.
We will distribute power from. Computer to
from other people's power.
Yeah, there's a lot of unused up bandwidth on people bicycling, for instance, right?
Let's
harness some of that.
Yeah, what a waste. God.
Yeah.
I think you should stick to the idea of rewriting the internet. That would be a good idea right now.
Such a productive
if you do rewrite the internet, I recommend considering using the Anyone But Richard Stallman license. Do you guys know who Richard Stallman is?
He's the founder of Free Software Foundation.
He is the founder of the GNU project, which tried to make a complete operating system. They ended up never making a decent kernel, and then Linux came around, and the rest is history, right? But he was also the man behind the GNU software license, which, among other things, stipulates that you cannot use this software to make something licensed differently. You can't turn open source software into something closed. Now, a lot of people say that this is the definition of something that's closed, right? Because if it's open, I should be able to use it to make whatever I want, including something that's closed. So it gets confusing, but I think this license is one of the pure I've ever seen. It's the Anyone But Richard Stallman license. I've linked to it in the description. And it says you can do anything with this program with the exceptions listed below under exceptions. In the unlikely event that you happen to make a zillion bucks after this, good for you. Consider buying a homeless person a meal. And the exception says, Richard M. Stallman, the guy behind New, etc., may not use or redistribute this program or any of its derivatives. That's it. That's the whole license. Kudos to whoever's behind this. This is genius. I love it. I like Richard Stallman for the record, but this is pretty funny. Yep. Moving right along, open information, stuff everyone should know. Nuclear launch codes. The nuclear launch code that was talked about regularly during the Cold War, usually in a briefcase, carried by a secret service agent. Yeah, it turns out for most of history it was just 0 10 times. Now I can understand this. It can be really tricky to memorize passwords and keep everything in sync. But it seems like this is one maybe they should have put a little bit more effort into. So, yeah.
It's probably really secure, in fairness, because no one would ever try it.
No, there's no way it's just 0 9 times.
Right? Like, I never try passwords 1 2 3 4 when I'm hacking someone's account, obviously, because that would never be used.
You do that every day, right? So
Oh,
you
God,
think
did
like,
I just say that?
password's the most secure password because no one would believe that your password's actually password?
Yeah, that's exactly that.
So this is
That's
like
why my PlayStation account was hacked.
Maybe this would work for a month, but it was this way for decades, apparently. So if you wanted to launch a nuclear missile, all you had to do was sit on the 0 button, and away it would have gone. That's a little problematic. I'm assuming it's different now. If anyone knows otherwise, let us know in the chat.
It's so simple, no one would guess it. You see, they're geniuses.
The geniuses, yeah. It was actually a technical problem. They set up this whole system to verify that what the numbers were, and it didn't work, so they just had to make it really simple for technical reasons. You can read more about it. Kind of crazy. Moving right along then. I'm a little out of it. I wasn't here last week, and now I feel like I don't know what's going on. So, glad you guys are doing well, though. It's good seeing both of you. Nokia is making an Android phone, apparently. Now, Nokia was just bought by Microsoft, so this is a little weird, but I guess they're tired of making phones with no apps. So it's going to be a pretty low one. It's called Normandy. It just looks like the regular Nokia phones, but I guess it will run Android, but I bet you Microsoft shuts down that right away. James?
Maybe not, given that Microsoft makes probably more money on them, right?
Well, they don't want to pay Microsoft for that. That's stupid, so they'll just not do it. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I told you about a book called The Circle by David Eggers. Someone was apparently... What?
And no one read it.
No one read it. No one read the book. But apparently someone did, or didn't, depending on your point of view, because someone made an app called Circle, and now it's promptly spamming everyone. It gets your address book and asks all of your contacts if they want to install it too. No one's clear on what it actually does, but there you go.
Not being funny, but what did it claim to do?
What did it claim to do?
Like,
I think it made like a group for your city, so you could see just updates from your city or region.
What?
It's like a social network for like people in your area, James. Don't you get it?
Yeah, man. There's like no one's tried this yet.
Like
So,
that
like-
was nothing people had already. Yeah.
It's like new, man. Circles.
Scudderman, speaking of our previous license conversation, linked to the WTFPL license, which is do what the fuck you want to public license. So that's an alternative. If you want Richard Stallman to be able to use your software, you could use that as well.
I've never heard of this thing, but it's a good name.
Gentlemen, I'm going to jump off. Have a great day. It's been wonderful being here. Thanks for having us on.
Christian, thank you for hanging out. Sorry we couldn't get you more in the conversation later.
No.
For,
It's just short on time. This is fascinating, but I've got to next thing.
Thanks for taking the time to talk. I think we enjoyed it, and we all learned a little bit about BitTorrent today.
Awesome, guys. Keep up the good work.
Keep in touch, Christian.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay.
Bye bye.
You know,
I
I
think
wanted
he
to
was
ask
put
him
off
if
by
he
your use of the
pronounced-
word fuck.
I wanted to ask him if it's pronounced uTorrent or muTorrent, but
it's pronounced muTorrent. I just did it wrong.
I heard you say you, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's mu, but
they just never corrected me, so whatever.
There you go.
That was fun.
muTorrent.
I don't feel awkward when there's someone else here and they're not saying things constantly, but I enjoyed having Christian and Lou on the show. I wrote an article last week. Or maybe a bit in the week before. No, apparently lots of people read it. It's been like 2,000 likes on Facebook. So
they skimmed it.
What?
That's pretty good.
They skimmed it. No one read it.
Yeah.
I read it.
What?
I thought it was awesome.
People liked it. I wrote, Microsoft, you're embarrassing yourself. Please stop. I framed the whole article as though Microsoft and I were having a cup of coffee, because in my head, having a cup of coffee with a commercial company with thousands of employees is a reasonable thing to do, I guess. And I just told them that these scribbled ads are making them look stupid, because that's what I personally believe. I don't know if you saw the most recent ad, Dave.
Yes.
With the Pawn Stars guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it in your article.
In the article, okay.
I don't know what Pawn Stars is, but I watched the ad.
No, it's Pawn. Pawn.
James, you know what Porn Stars is.
I'm pretty sure you know what Porn Stars is. Well, I know it's on the History Channel, because that network has just completely given up on its name. They don't even care anymore. They're not even pretending.
You know, technically, people do sell historical items.
Sorry, you get Pawn Stars on the History Channel.
Pawn Stars, moron. Do you know what a pawn?
What the hell are you keep? That's what I said. Pawn Stars.
No.
Pawn.
Pawn. Yes, Pawn Stars.
Pawn.
Sounds like you're saying Porn Stars.
Put a little emphasis
That's exactly
on the
what you're saying.
Pawn.
No, we're saying Pawn Stars.
Porn.
All right. If you're what do you call a dog's foot?
Yeah.
A paw.
Okay, now add an N to the end of that.
Yeah.
Porn star.
Pawn.
Yeah, that worked.
That's closer.
That was exactly the same. What's wrong with you? Whatever.
So Microsoft has been doing some weird stuff, but they also made this really strange Internet Explorer 11 ad, which we've linked to in the description. This is for Singapore, actually, I think. They made an anime where the IE girl kicks some ass, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if this was actually Microsoft. I mean, people are saying
it was.
but right.
It was. Microsoft made it for an anime festival in Singapore. It's
awesome. I really like it. They should do more of that, not this crappy, it's Chromebook.
Yeah, seriously, they should do that. I mean, I guess some people in the comments below this article, and there were a lot of comments below this article, seem to interpret me as some kind of Google fanboy who was just defending Google. Now, I've got an article I'm drafting right now in a similar format addressed to Google that I think will dispel that notion. But I'm not. I just really dislike advertising, and I really, really dislike advertising that says another company is bad instead of our company is good. I believe that if you want to destroy someone in tech, you just make a product so much better. Like I never saw Google putting out ads like web crawler is bad. They just made a web search that was way better than web crawler, and web crawler faded into obscurity. Wait, is web crawler still a thing? Now I'm going to Google that.
What?
I remember web crawler. I say, hey, web crawler's still no. Oh yeah, it's still there. What do you know? They got the little spider icon and everything still. That's good to know. Anyways, Google, my point is, never ran an ad saying web crawler's stupid. You shouldn't use it. They just made a search that was better than that, and everyone could see that it was better than that. This is, I think, what Microsoft's forgetting. They just need to make better things and not bitch about how everyone else sucks. But apparently I've seen polls that said these ads are working, the squiggled ads are working, so what do I know? Nothing. I'm just an old man.
They should make Scrappled instead.
Scrappled?
Because, isn't Apple the one who's actually really, like, hurting their market slightly? I mean, it's still a small percentage.
Apple has, like, $100 billion gajillion dollars just sitting around in a stack. If Microsoft attacks them even a little bit, they will rain down an advertising parade of terror, the likes of which Earth hasn't seen. The street will flow with pamphlets decrying the travesties that Microsoft has. Yeah.
You know, they should both just go out and recruit their favorite rapper and then just have battle raps. And then whoever wins.
Rap representatives.
Yeah. Like,
wins,
Microsoft would probably get somebody
If Microsoft wins, Google will just be like, sorry, we're done.
Yeah, Microsoft, though, they'd probably get someone shitty like T-Pain or something.
TP.
And Apple would like resurrect Tupac somehow and be like, yeah, we got this.
Justin, the comments on your article are absolutely stunning. I gotta say, can I just read this bit?
Oh, there's a lot of great comments on this
I was
article.
being lazy and not embarrassing the new way Windows 8 was meant to be used. No, I'm not talking about a touchscreen either, though I have heard it works amazingly well. I read a little article that said Windows 8 Review 2nd Edition. The right's first words were, I take it all back. This is unbelievable. Seriously, who?
Oh, no. So some people can't write, but they really want to speak, and I get that. Maybe they don't speak English natively. There was one person who wrote like a parody of my article.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't know if you saw this. It's been a long time since something I've written got quite this much feedback. It's been overwhelming in my inbox, and I responded to a couple. You can't respond to all of them when it's like this, especially when half of them. Especially when half of them are like, well, Chromebooks are just terrible. That wasn't the point of the article.
They are kind of crap, in fairness.
But
they are kind of crap.
I never defended Chromebooks in the article. I just
said, didn't really have anything to do with Chromebooks.
I just said Microsoft, by attacking Chromebooks, you're kind of admitting you see them as a threat. I don't think they're a threat to you, but it kind of seems like you do. That was kind of my point. Which, you're giving Chromebooks more credibility with that. And, yeah. Yeah, the comments are amazing this time. I don't know where all these people came from or if they're regularly reading it. But
Justin Pop, we need to talk. Yes, it's about that googly post.
Yeah, that's
No, I don't think they're funny, and no, I don't think anyone is worried about that.
Yeah.
This is wicked.
Justin
Microsoft
Pott
has created a mobile OS that really works and much simplified. Simple,
Justin
clean,
Pott
and efficient.
tried his level best to put forward his aggression and depression he got inside his soul. Wow. Wow. This guy's psychoanalyzing me. This is fantastic. Ali S., if you're listening, get in touch. We should have you on the show sometime. This is good stuff. Windows came 2 years back in terms of apps where they are now. They have less apps than them, but quality apps, not crappy apps like on the Google Store. 80 out of 100 apps are crap. Wait, didn't we just report on the show that like Microsoft was adding apps that were just links to websites like themselves? Yeah. I'm not saying that everything in Google Play is high quality. There's a lot of crap in there, but I don't know, man. But I wasn't. It just misses the point because it's not like Microsoft, you're bad. I was trying to say Microsoft, these ads are terrible. Stop. So yeah.
Oh, Microsoft. Moving on.
I enjoyed this though. I like it when I get lots of comments. So read my articles and leave just awful comments saying I'm a bad person, and it'll make me happy. That's what I like. Yeah. Moving right along to the gaming news part of the show where Dave LeClaire talks. Dave, I'm going to let you take over.
I think the title of this week's episode should be Rap Representative, by the way. So, put that out there now.
Yeah. Rap Representative.
James put this story on here, which is actually from a month ago.
I don't remember talking about it though, right? I was just
wanted to make fun of the fact that Microsoft has achievements on the Xbox One for watching like Amazon and Twitch and stuff.
Okay, I don't want to call you an asshole or anything, James, but you're the guy who kind of implemented the gamification feature on Make Use Of. And now you're going to give people crap for doing it on their platform? What's your problem?
I don't think gamification works for everything. Like, this is not a long stretch to saying you're going to get
wait.
for
Are you
watching
saying
ads, right?
Gamification does not work on a video game console?
Yeah.
For watching
like
ads and videos, no, I don't think it does.
It seems like the only logical place to do it because it is a console of games.
Although, having said that, we are considering giving you points for watching Technophilia. Boom!
Here's a stupid idea. By the way, we're going to do this.
You know,
it's going to
Jess
be
actually
amazing.
said that to me the other day. She's like, you guys should give people points for watching the show.
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to do that. Yeah.
We're going to give people points for saying clever things in the chat room, I think. And maybe, can we implement it so we can take away points from Philip?
Philip?
Apple equals Skynet plus Richie Rich. See, that's the kind of thing I would maybe take away points for.
So
what is going on?
Hey, I can take those points right now if you want.
Is it just me, or is the chat room like less sensical than usual this time? I see Alex.
It's been pretty weird today. While you guys were doing the interview, I was playing with the chat room, and
they weren't even paying attention to the interview.
No, they weren't listening. We were talking about there's a guy in there pretending to be Vinny Caravella, and I was playing along with him being Vinny. Vinny Caravella is a guy from Giant Bomb, the video game website.
Oh, so you're gonna say was like a
and Dave Crack's like, you don't really think that's Vinny Caravella, do you?
Well, here's an interesting point from the chat room, though. Scudderman says that Microsoft sells software on Apple's operating systems. They like Apple. You know what's interesting, though, is Microsoft has basically said that there isn't going to be a follow-up to Office 2001, or at the very least that they're not working on it right now.
Like anyone cares.
Well, some people might. A lot of Apple users do install. I mean, it's still the best-selling software for Mac is Microsoft Office, believe it or not. So
now, shut up! No way.
It's one of the best-selling things for the platform. They don't sell it in the App Store, so you can't get official statistics, but it's out there. A lot of people buy it. A lot of people depend on Outlook for work, as stupid as that is. So, you know, I don't know if Microsoft plans on supporting Apple's platform long-term. I think they kind of see them as a long-term enemy, too.
So,
but they're not going to put out ads saying Apple laptops are stupid because you can't use... I don't know what they would attack them for.
Games. Can't play
games, yeah. So the Xbox One Media Achievements, terrible idea. We are going to implement it and make use of immediately, in summary. And what's next?
I think they're a fine idea. So anyway, so the VGX happened, which used to be Spike Video Game Awards, which used to air on television. Now it aired on the internet.
And television is kind of like YouTube, but it happens with a set schedule.
Right, and as such, when aired on television, they had to turn it into like the MTV Video Music Awards filled with nonsense and celebrities. So this time, they switched it up to being just like in a studio, and they had Jeff Keighley, who's always the host. He actually knows things about video games.
Okay.
And then they had Joel something or other, who is a comedian from that Talk Soup show.
Yeah.
And he was clearly drunk and didn't give a fuck about
Joel McHale.
Yeah, that guy. So
he's the lead on Community too. I like that guy.
Right. So
but he didn't care.
He didn't give a fuck about the VGX. And he was basically being a troll and an asshole the whole show, which I thought was funny, but a lot of people were upset about.
That's amazing. That's his thing, though. He makes fun of people. That's
what everybody says, but it was to the point where you could just tell that he did not give a fuck. Like, he was talking about the teleprompter during the show, like, you know, like, he was just being... I thought it was hilarious, because he was actually acting like I act during this show.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was good, but a lot of people were upset. But anyway, the gist of it is that, you know, of course, they gave out a bunch of awards. So Game of the Year was Grand Theft Auto 5, so on and so forth. And then there was some news that came out of it, which is the part that's interesting. So Telltale, the people who made The Walking Dead, is making a Game of Thrones game in that same style, which sounds awesome.
They've come a long way from a Strong Bad School game. Wow.
Yeah. So
Game of Thrones.
That sounds really cool. And then they're also oddly making a Borderlands game in the Walking Dead style, which I didn't know anybody cared about the lore of Borderlands.
Interesting. So they're getting licenses from video games now.
Yeah, I mean, before that, after The Walking Dead, they made The Wolf Among Us, which is based on the Fables comics, which is the one.
They've done some really interesting things with the properties they get, because they did Back to the Future too, and if you haven't played those, it's basically the sequel to Back to the Future.
Yeah, so basically, it seems like
so they do really interesting things with it.
Their license at Telltale, and they're like, work your magic with it. So good for them, man. They are.
Yeah, that's cool.
They went from a company that was on the verge of going out of business to a company that had the best game of the year last year and is working on more games that could be big.
They care about the stories they get the licenses for. They're not like just put something that's vaguely to do with the plot of this. They kind of supplement the material they get, and they do a good job with it.
Yep. So other than that, they showed a bunch of trailers for like Titanfall and Thief.
Well, who won the awards? What the hell, Dave?
I don't care about the awards. I care about the news. This is a news segment.
The awards don't matter.
There's no one cares about the VGX awards anyway. They're like the least regarded of the awards. I told you, Game of the Year was GTA. That's all you need to know. But the game that really stole the show is one called No Man's Sky, which is it's developed by 4 people. It's a procedurally generated, kind of like a roguelike space flying game that kind of looks like the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter type of thing. but it's all procedural, so every time you play, the level is going to be different. And everybody watched that trailer, which there's you can see the trailer in the link in the post.
Let me guess. Do you trade and sell drugs and pirate things? Can you do that?
No, it's like a fighting type of flying game, like dog fights and stuff.
Hey, why am I looking at a trailer of it and it shows something underground in the ocean?
Because there's some of that.
Why
shit
are you researching this just right now?
Yeah,
this isn't in the notes. He's just talking about it.
It's that it looks really good, and everybody is very excited about this game. But now these poor 4 dudes who are working on it by themselves, who are just like, yeah, we're making this cool indie game, now all of a sudden have these massive expectations on them from being on this fairly large stage, and I feel kind of bad for them that they're gonna have to. There's no way they're gonna live up to the expectations.
It looks like something from 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Well, it's not like an Xbox One quality next gen graphics, but that's also early in its life cycle. So, any winners you want to know? What do you think won best Nintendo game?
That's a category.
Super Mario.
Nintendo's just its own category.
Well, they're all a category. What do you think won best Xbox game?
Oh, it can't be Titanfall because that doesn't exist yet. Best Xbox or Xbox One.
That's not a category. That's like saying best.
It's
DVD.
Well, each of the platforms get their own. It's for the exclusive.
Like, does it have to be exclusive?
Oh, that's silly. I mean,
the winners were all exclusive, except the best Xbox game is also on Steam because I have it on Steam, but it's not on PlayStation or Nintendo. I think is what it comes down to.
Well. Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if you guys listened or
it
watched.
It is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
What the hell is that?
It's an indie game.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's pretty good. And the PlayStation was The Last of Us, which is no surprise to anybody.
James is all like, why do people buy or make or have anything to do with indie games?
Brothers is an awesome game.
Spending their money on 3D helmets like real gamers.
Was there any mention of the Oculus Rift there? No, this is how lame it was.
Not. They only mention actual content that are like available to the public.
Doesn't mention the Oculus Rift, not really cool.
The Oculus Rift's not even out yet, so what are they going to mention?
Best PC game, what is it?
What?
What best PC game?
Gone Home.
And what the fuck is that?
Another indie game, brother.
Oh, what did he do? Another indie game.
And it also won best indie game.
Yeah.
Really? Because the comments say they completed it in 2 hours. Is that really deserving of a 9.5? What the hell is that?
Yeah, because
nothing
short. It doesn't
matter how long a game is. It matters how good a game is.
Nothing short can be good, right?
Well, I better be having at least 20 orgasms in the space of 2 hours.
That's why the most recent Final Fantasy game's the best game in history because it lasts 80 hours, right?
Well, none of those were the best games in any history ever. So. Okay, so now I get to not talk about games again because I'm so lame.
Well,
is that it? Do you want to say that?
No, you're entitled. In this instance, your opinion is shared by many other people who are concerned about value proposition when it comes to buying a game. So,
but how much? It wasn't like they were charging $80.
But it's like a $15 game. So if you break it down proportionately, an 8-hour game would be $60, and then you get there, and then boom.
Well. So, people pay $20 for a movie, and that is 2 hours. So
if you go to Spike's website, the VGXs are available to watch on there. And if you want to just see Jeff Keighley look at that Joel guy with looks of pure hatred for 3 hours, watch it. Because when that Joel guy starts really going off on his like shitty ass jokes, Jeff Keighley just looks at him like, I want to fucking put a knife in your throat right now.
Like his jokes are bad, or he's just making fun of video games as a category?
He's making fun of video games, and he's making fun of Jeff. But the thing is, Joel likes video games, so I don't understand. I don't get it. He's just trying so hard to be funny that it's not funny.
Where can we watch the whole thing? Like spike.com/VDX. Is the whole video online somewhere?
For me, because I watched it after the fact, I just Googled VGX stream, and then it takes you right to the Spike page where you can watch it. I'll put a link in the chat room if anybody wants to watch.
Oh, here we are.
Scudderman says, James, go play Limbo and tell me indie games are crap. I have a feeling based on James's tastes that he's not going to like it. Yeah, Limbo.
Wait, was that the one where you went back in time, or what was that one?
No,
That was
Limbo's like the black and white side scroller.
Oh no, I don't have time for that. No.
It's a short game, but it's pretty fun. I'd recommend it. Actually.
I played the one where you can reverse time, and I spent about 3 seconds with that. It was just bollocks.
Oh, Braid?
Oh,
Braid's fantastic. You're just wrong.
I played some of Limbo recently. That game was fun. It was in one of those Humble bundles.
Yeah, it was in the most recent Humble bundle. It's a good little game.
Not the most recent.
The most recent is there are so many good big games. I don't want to waste my time on
the most recent numbered Humble bundle. Dave, I know there's been an Android. Yeah.
The new one's pretty good. Did you see that? I didn't put that in the news, but did you see there's a new Humble Jumble bundle?
I looked at it. I have way more games than I'll ever play right now, so I'm gonna kind of try to empty the queue before I spend any more.
I bought it because it has Gary's mod in it, and I've always wanted to play Gary's mod. Well, not play it, but experience it. I don't think you really play Gary's mod. You just kind of look at it.
What about Minecraft? I feel like that should have got Best Indie Game or something.
That came out in 2012, though.
Ah,
Didn't
shit.
it? It feels older than that to me.
Maybe 2000. Well, I think the beta was from like 2010
to
okay. 12, and then in thinking 12 is when it officially was.
But I bet you it's still being played now, a hell of a lot more than whatever Gone Home is.
Right, but they go based on release.
No, but that's. I mean, that's
World
that's
of
a game that's
Warcraft
made
is still
for
more
replayability.
played, but you can't give World of Warcraft awards this year.
No, but you have to. I mean, Minecraft was made to be an interactive, long-term kind of thing. There is also a place in the video game market for one-time playthroughs that explore the medium in different ways.
Plus, Minecraft.
There's a place for them. I don't think they should be getting awards as like the best game of the year, though. Jesus.
Well, what PC game? Think PC game, not like an Xbox.
I don't know. You're probably the kind of person who thinks that like Jack and Jill should get the best movie award because the most people watched it. I mean, that's you give awards to things that move the medium forward. Yeah, it was the terrible Adam Sandler
James,
movie.
tell me what PC game you would give.
Well, in fairness, up until yesterday, I didn't have a very good PC graphics card, so I haven't been playing any.
There really hasn't been many PC exclusives
I don't know.
this year. There was SimCity, and that was a flaming pile of ass.
Yeah.
Exclusives, I don't know.
There was
Surgeon Simulator. There's a dodgy little indie game that's got to win some prizes.
That one's not going to win any prizes.
Isn't that game like practically broken though?
No, I think it was supposed to be. It's been. I just bought it on the Steam sale actually because they've integrated official Oculus Rift support now. With the Razer Hydra as well. So.
I know what PC game should have won.
What?
Fucking Dota 2. That was released. That technically came out of beta this year, so.
Well, we'll redo. Well, let's do our own award ceremony sometime.
Dude, we should totally have Technophilia's Game of the Year, and me and you could just argue about it. It'd be awesome. It'd be like a special one-off episode. That's like.
That's not the best game of the year. It doesn't work on
that game is only Rift. It can't win.
I don't really feel like how I'd like to do that.
How do I make it work on the Oculus Rift?
I've basically only played Call of Duty so far this year, so I don't have much.
Call of Duty.
I don't have much of a valid opinion here, to be honest.
Call of Duty was nominated in like every category and didn't win any.
If I wouldn't give any awards to the latest one. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but it was nominated
Ops 2,
though.
Maybe. I would. Yeah. Oh, and
another video game topic that I didn't put on the outline that just popped in my head.
Yeah.
What do you think about all this Forza 5 microtransaction stuff, where it's a $60 game that is like basically has the level of microtransactions that you would get from a free-to-play game, like. Hey, you can earn this much XP. Would you like to pay us $5? And you can.
Well, no, and then the big thing with that game, from what I understand, was the microtransactions were there right away. Like usually, you get a game, it comes out, and then a month later they start adding stuff like that.
But no, this isn't even like DLC. This is like experience doublers, like shit that comes in free-to-play iPhone games.
Really? They did that in a $60 full-on.
Yeah, it is. It's like straight up gross. Like the.
I thought you could buy like user car designs where someone's like spray painted their car with a special design.
Those are free. the car designs.
Can you turn it off, Dave?
No, they're there all the time, and the XP doubler is so bad it's on the screen twice, once on the bottom and once on the top.
That's brutal. That's
that you
brutal.
Can double your XP.
Game designers, you get to pick. You can be assholes constantly nagging people to buy more things, or you can charge for your game. You can't do both.
And then the other thing too, like, let's say you buy the car, like a car pack in DLC.
Yeah.
You still have to buy those cars with in-game currency to actually use them.
What?
But of course, you can spend more real money to get more in-game currency.
Huh?
So if you buy the DLC pack, you now have the cars in your game, but you still have to have enough in-game money to buy the car to use it. Does that make sense? It's terrible.
I don't get it.
So, all right. So let's say you go out and you buy a map pack in Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
But you
still
can't
have to
use the maps until you've earned enough of the Call of Duty money thing to then
you
buy
have to
the
unlock
map.
them as well.
So you pay for it, but then you still have to unlock it within the game. But you can unlock it faster if you buy with real money more
Right.
in-game currency.
So you could buy the cars and
Wow.
then buy the money to buy the cars again.
How is
Or
this
you
not
can
being
put in the
slated
time
as the
to
worst
earn
game
the
ever?
money.
I mean,
It's pretty bad, man. I like Forza 5. It's a really fun racing game, but man, like, and then there's like they were pricing out how much like the top of the line cars would cost if you were to buy them, like using the not earning the money but using the thing that lets you buy the money. And some of the cars cost $70
Oh my goodness.
in a $60 game if you wanted to
shit.
just buy the car.
This has gone too far. This has to stop.
Yeah,
Making games is plenty profitable if you make a good one and charge a reasonable price for it. Don't do this shit. Just don't.
If it was free game, I'd be perfectly fine with it. But the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that
who
they
cares if
paid
it's a free game? Go
60 for it-
crazy.
Yeah, the fact that I paid 60 for it and then they want more of my money.
But even the free games, if you buy the pro version, they stop nagging you, right?
Some.
Yeah.
So yeah, Forza 5, stop it. You're drunk.
Stop
Go home.
it. Okay, let's move on to what you've been using the part of the show where we talk about.
Wait.
Wait. James has to tell us about Sony.
Good news. Look, I got a letter from head office, and they said we understand.
Wait, who signed it? That's a nice flowery signature there. Put that back up against the.
They said thank you for explaining your situation to us, and we decided to deactivate one of the consoles, so you now should be able to reactivate your actual console. How fucking nice of you, Sony, really.
To give you the thing that you paid for.
Yeah.
Did you tell them that you wrote a nasty article about them?
Oh, I did. I linked to it and said perhaps, if any of our 15 million readers change their mind about buying a PS4, my mission will be accomplished.
Oh, wow.
Did they ask you to remove that now that they fixed it?
No. Why the fuck would I do that? They did something bad.
Yeah, but they could still I'm not saying you would, but they could still ask you to remove it. Doesn't mean you will.
No. Well, they haven't asked me to remove it, but yeah. I don't know. Well, good news anyway. I can go back to playing Call of Duty now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Should have bought it on
That's
Xbox.
I wanted to make a bit of an announcement here. I have talked to a company. I forget their name right now. They waterproof iPods. So they're sending me one in the mail. No
Just
strings
really remember their name.
Yeah, I should remember their name, shouldn't I? I should probably look that up. I'll promote it more at the time. But I'm going to, on the show, put this iPod into a very series of liquids and see if it still plays music after. And then at the end of the show, whoever makes the best comment can have the iPod. I will just mail it to you.
And of course, if it's broken, you'll get it as well anyway.
You'll get a broken iPod, yeah. If I manage to break the iPod, you will receive a broken one in the mail. But I will mail it to you nonetheless. So hopefully it still works. We'll see. So I guess I want Technophiliacs to start thinking of suggestions for the kinds of things I should drop this into. And we'll test it out. I was thinking of just like jelly. I guess the idea is you could go swim laps with an iPod. I don't know. It's just a shuffle. So there's no screen to break or anything. So anyways...
Are there waterproof headphones as well? Otherwise, I'm not sure.
I think there are waterproof headphones. Yeah, it's useless without the waterproof headphones. Right. Yeah, they make waterproof headphones, and they buy iPod shuffles, and they just waterproof them and then sell them, which I guess is perfectly legal. So we'll have one on the show, and I'll arrange liquids on my coffee table here, and we'll We'll just test it out. It'll be fun. So that's coming up.
Oh, that's funny.
PP?
What?
What
I'm
do
not,
you
P. Oh, I think he wants you to drop it in a bowl of piss.
I'm
PP.
not putting a bowl of piss in my house, and I'm not touching anything that comes out of one.
Well, what about
And I don't think technophiliacs are going to be too excited about winning.
Yeah,
Beer. Yeah, beer was one of my ideas, Philip. Lava has been. I don't currently have a vessel that can contain lava
Oh, that's awesome.
and keep it at lava-like temperatures. Like, I have some lava here. It's just in like solid form. It's hard to keep that hot enough that it stays a liquid. A liquid iron. Oh, that's easier. I'm not putting it in my toilet. I'm not putting my toilet on the internet. Though that was always liquid nitrogen. What? Okay, we'll see. Come up with suggestions. I'll put a thing on Facebook asking for suggestions when the iPod gets here, and then it'll be a nice Christmas gift for someone who listens to the show. So stay tuned for that.
what if they don't celebrate Christmas?
Then it can be a nice sadness gift because everyone else is having Christmas. I don't know. Or if you're Indian, it can be a nice December gift, I guess. And then I get to pay to ship something to India. Yay! Okay. Let's move on to what you've been using. It's not racist to not want to ship something to the other side of the planet because you think it's expensive. Though, no, I did mail something. You're a racist. It's amazing, actually, how cheap it is.
Don't ship to India.
I will ship to India. I'll do
Don't
it.
ship to India. It'll just get stolen. They have to like bribe their postman.
Well,
That's
you know
racist, James.
It's not racist. It's true.
We've had
You're
trouble
just
shipping
making up
stuff to
racist
India
things
in the
now.
past. But anyways, what you've been using, James? You've got a Linux distro here, designed for cryptocurrency mining. Wait, it wasn't James?
No, it was mine. I just so for Christmas, my wife got me a new graphics card, a R9 290, which is like a top of the range $500 AMD graphics card, which is awesome.
So you figured, why not
AMD,
burn this thing
ew.
mining currency?
Yeah, because AMDs, I chose the AMD obviously because I was hoping to mine with it, and they are far, far faster than NVIDIA for that. So I tried it on Windows, and I was having a couple of driver problems and stuff, and then I found this Linux distro, a Litecoin variant of it, called BAMT, B-A-M-T, which stands for Big A Miner Thing, or something like that.
Okay.
And basically, it's really easy. You launch straight into it. It finds your GPU. The only thing you have to do, obviously, is to edit the config file to put in your mining pool, which is where you collect your data and they share out the Litecoins that you find. And it's pretty cool. So right now I'm running my mining rig, and I should be able to make about £100 a month.
So I'm being told that
graphics card.
they celebrate Christmas in India. So there you go. There you go.
Christmas is fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy Christmas. I'm riding a train back to Michigan and Ontario, so I'm pretty excited about that.
So if anyone is still thinking about getting into coin mining, now would be a good time. It's like on the cusp of, I don't know, in 6 months' time, mining Litecoins won't be profitable anymore. But if you got into it now, you could probably still make profit.
Well, there you go. James with his weekly money-making scam. I mean, tip.
It's not a scam.
Is anyone going to use Litecoin though? Is that going to be a thing?
Well, look, it has a value. One Litecoin is worth $30 right now.
Oh.
And if it follows Bitcoin, which it probably should, I mean, it's theoretical to think it'll have like a 10%.
Wait, so you
value
think
of
there's
Bitcoin.
potential for multiple currencies on the web to gain traction, or do you think?
I think one of the big problems with Bitcoin is that it's so expensive right now that you have to do everything in 0.00001 to get anything done, and that's,
well, to be fair,
there's a lot of downsides to it.
That is what it was designed to do. But yeah, it's obscenely expensive right now because all of China is apparently mining them when they aren't emailing me to sell closed-circuit televisions. Stop emailing me, China. I know you're not watching.
I think there is room for that.
But
I'm amazed how many alternative cryptocurrencies there are right now.
Yeah, but
they are trying to solve a problem with Bitcoins.
But they're not all going to catch on.
No, they're not all going to catch on, and most of them are just a get-rich scheme for the person who invented them. But some of them actually aim to solve a problem that exists with bitcoins. And right now, I'd say Litecoins or peer coins, they're the next two biggest currencies, which are probably going to have a value.
Interesting. Do they have a mysterious founder who no one can identify with a Japanese name, but actually speaks British English, but sometimes uses American English? Because if not, I'm not interested.
No, they just have a guy with a name.
Oh, that sucks.
They don't have anything weird.
Kashi wants to come on the show and talk about Bitcoins.
Hey guys, in case anybody's curious, I just noticed that on Newegg they have 12 months Xbox Live Gold subscriptions for $40, which is like the cheapest you'll find it. So if you need to re-up your Xbox Live Gold, go to Newegg now because them shits will sell out quick. Boom.
Do it. Cool.
Speaking
deal for you.
Nonsense.
I think we should wrap up the show. I think we should switch to our art designing segment. What do you think, guys?
I don't like art.
I know you hate art. I know. I want to thank the guys from BitTorrent for coming on. That was really cool, and for addressing some pointed questions, but we mostly let them say their piece, I think. I think we were pretty fair.
We didn't ask about the pronunciation.
Oh, now someone from China is going to email me about closed-circuit televisions in the chat room. That's annoying. So thanks for those guys. BitTorrent Sync's really cool. Check it out. I believe it's at sync.bittorrent.com. It's like Dropbox without the centralized server. No, just go to bittorrent.com and check it out.
Yeah, do that.
It's really awesome, though. I mean, I wouldn't talk about it like this if it wasn't. What else? Oh, if you want to follow... It's been so long since I've done this, I'm kind of out of it. If you want to keep the conversation going during the week, you can join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Technophilia Podcast. You can also chat with us whenever you want on Twitter at The Technophilia. I'm at JHPod. Dave is at Psydox. And don't follow James, because he's a piece of crap on Twitter. So... Thanks for listening. If you like the show on iTunes, please leave a rating. It helps us a great deal. And Miro or whatever you listen to can help too. So support the show in that way. Next week, we will be giving away an iPod, assuming it comes here. So join us live Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, or whatever time it is in your world. You can probably figure it out. And MakeUseOf.tv is going to launch soon, right, James?
I hope so.
You were going to have a variety of other shows. Dave's working on a Bitcoin show. No, Dave is working on a game.
Everyone knows that I am an expert at all things Bitcoin. So
Dave's going to do a gaming news show video, so that will be fun. I'm working on a couple of different concepts.
The news.
I think I'm going to make some parody videos or something. Maybe I've got some ideas. We'll see what happens.
We have an Xbox One giveaway going live
at MakeUseOf.com.
Sometime. Jackson, I don't know. Jackson, make it happen. It should be going up like maybe tomorrow, I think, maybe Friday.
Cool. So if you want to win an Xbox One, stay tuned to MakeUseOf.com this week. That will happen soon. And thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'm gonna turn my camera off now and switch to magic mode. See you in a bit.
Well, I'm not going to be here that long.
Where do you have to go?
Pick wives up from workplaces.
Can we move the podcast till after you pick your wife up from the workplaces?
At like 7 o'clock for me. That would be 3 hours later than it is now.
I'm fine with that. I don't know if Justin is.
Well, I don't know if I am.
What do you gotta do?
Eat dinner, you know.
Fuck that.
Fuck you.
You don't need food, bitch-ass motherfucker.
Alright, Koshi, why do you think Litecoins don't have a long-term future?
Because he's a Bitcoin fanboy, obviously.
How about the peer coins then? Because,
So what?
Welcome to my kitchen. What do we
Justin,
got?
I tried to convince James to make the show later, but he doesn't want to.
Well, we could try it.
But he said it would have to be 3 hours later than we currently do it.
I could do that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, but he said, what about dinner? I need to eat.
So those poor guests from San Francisco, it was 8 in the morning when they started.
Yeah, we could open up a whole new realm of
I don't
California people. To,
You don't care.
I don't care. Why do I care?
Well, if you think about it, a lot of tech businesses are in California, and we could more easily get them on the show if they didn't have to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
What do the fans think? Do they like the time? I mean, not that I
Hey,
really
what do you think
care.
of the time? It's probably kind of crazy in India if we go much later, isn't it? Oh wait, no, it's
He
already.
doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we have? Is it rap representative? Because that sounds like a lot of work.
I like rap representative personally. I think
Okay.
it's pretty funny.
What else do you think? Koshi will do a BitCon show.
Koshi won't be able to watch if we move it. It'll be about 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm. There's too many time zones to think about.
Koshi can watch it at 1 a.m. What does Koshi got to do?
Harsh.
It is not Bitcoin. It is BitCon. What they keep saying in the chat, yeah. Oh, art ideas. Rap representative. What do I do for art for rap representative? So Scudderman likes the time. Well, of course, the people who are here like the time. It's the people who aren't here who don't like it.
But I feel like most of our listener base is probably in the U.S. I don't know that for sure. And moving it later would make it so people can listen after work, not try and
Technically, moving it to 7 o'clock would mean everyone in the UK could listen to because they wouldn't be at work.
Yeah. I think it might be better personally, but you know.
Well, we can. Why don't we put something on the Facebook? Oh, by the way, apparently, if I leave town, the Facebook is just abandoned.
Yep. Pretty much.
Literally one post in the past week. Oh, other than that, did you see the crazy cable company thing I linked to?
Nope.
It's the cable companies are crazy. They made these videos trying to convince you how important cable is. And there's a guy out jogging, and he's got a hole through his chest because if you don't have cable, there's a giant hole in your life. And he sees a bunny, and he wants to pet it. And then he's like, give him cable or let him loose. And if you let him loose, like the bunny attacks him. And because he doesn't have CNN, he didn't know that there's radioactive bunnies.
Well, that's true. He would never know.
Yeah, because there's no other way in the world to get news at all.
Nope. He would never know. The bunnies would just be running radioactive, and he would never know.
They would just eat you, just like that. Wow. Brutal.
Koshi doesn't go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, Koshi. You're up till
If
like...
you change the timing, I can't watch live. I sleep. Well, we'll see. We'll ask if there's a broader audience. I don't know how many people want to watch a show live like this. I think I really love you guys that do, but I think it's a limited audience by nature. We get way more people after the fact than we do live.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's cool.
By like 50 people.
And it's by your own schedule, but it's pretty awesome that people do watch live. So
I do think in the end it ultimately has to come down to what is the most convenient time for us, though.
Yeah.
Because we are the ones who have to actually do it.
yeah,
Not to be a dick
no,
or
right now it works for me, but I'm kind of like rushing my wife out the door. I'm like trying to eat breakfast before, and I don't have a lot of time to write stuff if I don't get it done the day before. And my days are pretty busy.
The only time it really annoys me at this time is when it's the first show of the month when we have a late-ass meeting the night before every month and then have to get up early.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I'm not a big fan of that meeting time.
So, well, for me, it's 1 a.m. start.
1 in the
time.
morning. That's, yeah.
And then
It's
get
not
up.
as glamorous as you think working for a technology blog that has people all over the world because time zones are an absolute bitch. There's just no good time to organize a meeting.
If we
Our
just not have
boss,
time zones anymore, we'll all just be the same time. It would, be
well,
weird.
people are still going to go to bed when it's dark, stupid.
No, that's not my problem.
So, what you're really saying is everyone should use your time zone.
Can
But
we
what
just
would
make
actually
the Earth flat?
the Earth is flat. Didn't you see this?
Oh, wait, I forgot. Christopher Columbus is a scientist.
Did you see the Flat Earth Society's forums? This is a real thing.
Yeah, that is a real thing. I realized this. They're crazy.
It's insane. Why are there time zones? They can't... Oh, whatever.
Fuck science. We believe the Earth is flat,
Okay,
so it
so-
is.
We got BitTorrent equals piracy. I don't think... You guys are assholes. Oh, what else can we do for the title? Rap representative. I mean, it was a little throwaway joke halfway through the show, but that makes the best titles, really.
I think so.
You have an arcade machine?
Humble of opinions.
Koshi wants to come on the show.
Of course Kashi wants to come on the show.
I would have Koshi on the show for like 5 minutes, and then I'd kill him.
We can. I think Kashi's paid his dues. I think he can come on the show now.
I think we should not let Koshi on the show until Dave Parak comes on the show.
I want Philip to join him though.
I feel like if I feel like Dave Parak.
Kashi can come on the show if Philip does too, because I want to know that they're two different people.
I feel like if Dave Parak knew that Koshi being on the show was dependent on him doing it, Dave Parak might come on so that Koshi could come on.
You know what? You're right. Kashi can come on the show after Dave does. Yeah.
So Dave, if you want to make your friend Kashi happy, you got to suck it up and come on the show.
This man hates indie games, Scutterman said.
He does like indie
games. Titles. Those are usually pretty good.
Indie, Zelda,
not a popular thing to name the show after. What about dug up some dirt from shovel?
Yes. I like that. Yes.
Like that?
A little long, but it'll work.
Dug up some dirt from shovel?
It's a little on the long side.
I can shorten it, but it's just easier for me to find a shovel than it is to find something for a rap battle.
All you need for a rap battle is a rapper.
Yeah, okay.
You could get a picture of Eminem wearing an Apple shirt or something.
Who would Apple's rap representative be, I wonder?
Probably Eminem because he's white.
What?
You know, Apple's racist.
You know, they probably, based on their commercials, get some indie rapper no one's heard of.
That's true. They get some douchebag indie guy.
Some flowery prose or something, yeah.
And Microsoft would just get, like, Miley Cyrus or something. They'd be like, what, she's a rapper, right? We're up with the times. You know what the kids like. We're twerking and stuff.
Apple tries so hard with their ads to just be cool.
And Microsoft does too, but they fail.
They find just more and more obscure artists. And I think that way they don't really have to pay the artists, too.
Yeah, they give them like $30 and say, like, here you go, bro. You get some exposure.
Yeah.
Just like Miley Cyrus.
You know what? A lot of artists' careers launched because they got into an Apple ad. So that's not even completely unfair for them to say.
Yeah. I mean, if I was some random, like, shitty indie artist, I would be down to be in an Apple commercial and get people to actually hear my music.
Yeah.
It's all about the art, man. You want people to hear it. It doesn't matter if it's in a corporate shelling bullshit or whatever.
Yep. So I just grabbed this image from Morguefile, and if you guys don't know about it, you should. It's a cool site where you can grab images, and if it's on the site, just have the right to use it for whatever you want. So it saves a lot of work if you're a blogger. Seriously.
I need to go.
Cool. Does that mean we're done?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay. I'm doing the shovel thing, so we're going to go with that.
Sweet.
And thanks everyone for joining us in the chat room, and we'll see you next week.
Wait, James.
Yes.
What if are your time limitations less limiting on a different day?
No, I still need to pick my wife up at the same time.
Oh, okay, she works every day. She should get a better job where she doesn't have to work every day.
Well, she's going to be quitting soon, as soon as she's too fat.
Yeah, there you go. So once that happens, then we'll be good. You can do whatever.
I love that kid of yours.
What?
That kid of yours is making it so we can change the time.
He doesn't have a kid yet.
Oh, she will.
He's got an embryo.
He's got an embryo inside his wife. That's a weird place to put it.
Wait, where would you put your
You're
embryo?
weird, James.
Whoa! Shut up! I'm going.
Okay, goodbye. See you.
Guys, I'm going to kill the feed now. So
okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Is the chat dead?
Is the chat dead?
Is the chat dead?
Is it dead?
Is it dead?
All right, leave, James.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm seriously, I'm going to leave now. I'll
Okay,
leave my minor on. Right. Chat said. Bye-bye.
Bye.